Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back. So just when we thought the Tesla market couldn't get any more wild, as of last night, we received some pretty insane news in regards to price changes for the entire Tesla lineup. So let's get started. So of course, last night as I'm about to go to sleep, I see absolutely insane breaking news, which, I got that from Sawyer Merritt, which if you don't follow him on Twitter and you're into Tesla, I highly recommend it. He seems to get all the information first about anything Tesla related, but we'll kind of dive into what has happened in the last 24 hours in regards to Tesla pricing. So before, we'll kind of backtrack a little bit. So the last roughly month of quarter four, so December, we did begin to see Tesla start offering some incentives, especially mainly towards the Model 3 and the Model Y. So to get rid of some of their, I would say, excess inventory, Tesla began to offer a $3,750 credit towards the purchase of a Model 3 or Model Y as long as you took delivery by the end of 2022, which they did begin to see some traffic on that. Their inventory did start to see a slight decline, but in a lot of people's eyes, with the Inflation Reduction Act and the EV tax credit taking place on 1 January of 2023, people felt the need to still either delay delivery of their cars, or they decided to, order later just so they could take delivery in January or, sometime in 2023 so they could get the full-on tax credit. So what does Tesla decide to do? They up the ante a little bit. They not only offer $7,500 off instantly towards the purchase of a Model 3 or a Model Y, but they also decide to sweeten the deal just a little bit by throwing in 10,000 free supercharger miles. And then after that, we began to see Tesla's current inventory just absolutely drop. People just, like you would see on their inventory page, just they're gone within a day, which that's great for Tesla. Wall Street and investors kind of didn't see it that way. Some reason they took that as, oh, Tesla, can't sell cars anymore without slashing prices. So we saw their stock just kind of take a pretty big hit on that one. We have seen some recovery a little bit, but not quite what us as investors would like to see. Of course, this only included the Model 3 and the Model Y. We saw nothing in regards to the Model S and the X. All right, we'll fast forward a little bit to around the maybe 24th, around Christmas Eve, Christmas Day-ish. Tesla decides, let's include this $7,500 off to the S and the X, and we'll throw in those supercharger miles as well. Because after looking at Tesla's inventory page, I did notice that there were quite a bit of excess of S's and X's in their inventory. Just some reason they just weren't selling them, especially when you're looking at a Model X Plaid that's like almost $150,000. But with the new year upon us and with the EV tax credit now in place, so now we're going to get into just some of the overall craziness that's occurred within the past 24 hours. So last night we saw that Tesla drastically reduced the prices of all of their vehicles, which we're going to go into all of them step by step, car by car, and we'll kind of go into just how this applies and which cars apply for the tax credit. So starting with the Model 3, it's the number 3 car in America at the moment, trailing the Mustang and the Model Y. So the original, Model 3 rear-wheel drive, the Standard Range Plus as they used to call it, that car used to be $46,990. They have now dropped that over 6% to now $43,990. And keep in mind, every car that I'm mentioning that qualifies for the tax credit, that's not even including the $7,500 tax credit. So on top of that, you're going to get $7,500 back. You're not going to get it instantly off like they did at the end of 2022, but you can still file your taxes next year, and assuming that you meet all the qualifications, you'll get the full $7,500 back on your taxes next year. So that's a pretty decent drop, but guess what? It gets better. All right, let's go to the Model 3, performance. The performance is seeing an over 14% drop, going from $62,990 all the way to $53,990, which guess what? Pushes it now in the $7,500 tax credit range. Because for a car, it's qualified as a sedan, so the market cap or MSRP cap on that is $55,000. So now every Model 3 in the entire lineup now qualifies for the $7,500 tax credit. Now we're going to discuss the Model Y. The Model Y it's been quite a roller coaster ride for the Model Y. So a few weeks ago, the IRS released their overall list of cars that qualify for the $7,500 tax credit. And guess what? The Model Y 5-seater, Tesla's basically most popular model, was not on there. And people were livid about it, which, I don't blame them. Because for some reason, the IRS did not consider the Model Y 5-seater an SUV. It's considered a car. The crazy thing is, it's slightly heavier brother, the Model Y 7-seater, does qualify for the tax credit of $7,500, but why is that? So it's all rumor, it's based off of weight. And apparently the Model Y 5-seater was roughly 235 pounds too light to qualify as an SUV. So the Model Y 5-seater did not get a tax credit, but the Model Y 7-seater did. Super weird, made no sense to me. And, all of us, we've been wondering, well, how's Tesla going to fight back on this one? Are they going to do some weird, janky backwater stuff to, make the vehicle qualify for the tax credit? But I didn't expect this at all because, to get for the Model Y 5-seater to qualify, they would have had to drop it to $55,000, which, a lot of us are like, no ways Tesla's going to do that. That's way too much. Tesla just ups the ante just a little bit more. So looking at my notes here, the original price of a baseline Model Y, 5-seater long-range all-wheel drive used to be $65,990. As of last night, you can get one now for $52,990, now putting it in the realm for the $7,500 tax credit, which that's a 20% drop. So Tesla slashed their prices 20% in literally overnight, which for me, as as an investor and as a Tesla driver, I love to see this because this is going to put more Teslas on the road and get more gas cars off the road. The only problem I have right now is for those people that you just picked up your Model Y yesterday, that you paid over $66,000 for. Your car is now worth 20% less in less than 24 hours, which I know, back in, with dealership days, you would drive your car off the lot. It's supposed to be worth 30% less. Okay. But I don't know, I guess for me, I would feel a little salty about that, knowing that I could have waited literally an extra day and have gotten my car for 20% cheaper, which is crazy. And also I could have gotten the tax credit because not only are these people that, paid the full $66,000 or more, they're not getting that 20% off and they're not getting the $7,500 tax credit because now with the Model Y long range starting at $52,990, that puts it under 55, which qualifies it for the tax credit. So now you're looking in the mid 40s now for a 330-mile range Model Y, which that's a damn good deal in my opinion. The performance, they actually dropped that from $69,990 to $56,990, which that's about 16%. But of course, with the Model Y performance only coming in a 5-seater and not a 7, that pushes it to $56,990. So it will not qualify for the $7,500 tax credit. So if you're looking, save a little bit more money, I would go with the 5-seater long-range all-wheel drive versus the performance. All right, so we're not done just yet. We're going to talk about the S and the X. We also did see the S and the X as well receive a price drop as well. Towards the end of we talked about towards the end of December, they were offering $7,500 off and 10,000 free supercharger miles for the S and the X. Now, it being after 1 Jan, that is over, but we are seeing some pretty decent price drops for the S and the X. So the original Model S used to have a base MSRP of $104,990. It is now dropped to $94,990, which is almost 10%. It's about a 9.5% drop. So overall, not bad. That finally pushed it into, the sub $100,000 range. The Plaid, we're seeing a pretty decent drop for the Plaid. It used to have a starting price of $135,990. They've now dropped that to $114,990, resulting in a over 15% drop. So now you can get the world's quickest SUV, the world's quickest car, 0 to 60 wise, starting at 115 grand. Which, everyone's going to argue with me that the Lucid Sapphire is the quickest car. Okay, whatever. We'll debate that another time. But overall, not a bad deal. Going into the X, so the X is with that car being a year away, that's the one, I think that's been the most inflated vehicle in Tesla's entire lineup, strictly alone just because of the long wait time. So the X, base model long range X, used to be $120,990. They've now dropped it to $109,990 for a little over a 9% drop. Its sporty plaid brother, which used to start at $138,990, now has dropped to $119,990 for almost a 14% drop in price. So like I've said, we've seen some huge price drops over Tesla's lineup, and there's a lot of speculation of why they're doing this. There's big rumors that, Tesla just can't meet like Tesla's plateau. Nobody wants them anymore. They're too expensive. So now it was time for them to drop the prices. There's also another rumor that, with Elon Musk, finally, he's upping the ante. He's wanting to put more Teslas on the road, no matter what it's going to take, and finally dropping the prices just might do that, especially now with the tax credit being in play for the 3 and the Y. You're not going to get the tax credit on the S or the X just because they're too expensive. Like I said, for SUVs, the cap is $80,000. For sedans, it's $55,000. So you're not going to see the tax credit on those two vehicles, but they're still considered part of their super luxury lineup. And the big thing that we were expecting to see, once I heard about this huge price reduction last night, is I was expecting Tesla stock to tank. Maybe even below $100 a share, which I know a lot of people have been waiting for that. But, after the market closed today, Tesla's barely down. They're only down maybe a couple of percent, which I was actually pretty shocked to that one. But I'm happy to see that, these price drops. It's great for people that, maybe Teslas were just too expensive, but now this might be a great opportunity for some of these people to actually finally get themselves into a Tesla. The biggest thing that this has affected right now is the used car market. I'm curious what this is going to do to the used car market. I'll do a separate video on that, but I just think this overall, 20% drop, 15% drop in certain vehicles, what this is going to do with the used Tesla market. But I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you found it very informative. If you do, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're new to my channel and haven't yet subscribed, man, please hit that subscribe button down below. Helps me out a lot. So if you have any other questions or comments, drop them down in the comments below. I'll answer them as quick as I can. But I hope you enjoy your weekend. Also, happy Friday the 13th. See ya!